Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's webinar, exclusive webinar with University of Debrecen. We will have the webinar for around 1 hour. The first 20 to 30 minutes we'll be discussing about the university. We'll have a presentation, and then we'll move on to the Q&A session, where you'll be typing your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll be answering them. We have today Ms. Dora from University of Debrecen. So thank you all for joining once again, and over to you, Ms. Dora.
Hi, hello everyone. Let me start by sharing my screen with you so you'll all see my presentation. So we can begin. In the meantime, if there's something that's not clear that I should explain in more detail, as Zara said, you can write us in the Q&A box, and all of your questions will be answered at the end, okay? So first off, we are the University of Debrecen. We are in Central Europe, in Hungary. Hungary is a really, really small country, but it's a member state of the European Union as well as the Schengen area. We are literally in the heart of Europe. The population of the country is about 10 million, so it really is a small country, as you might know by now. The capital is Budapest. And we are proud to say that we were ranked one of the safest countries in the world this year. We are the 14th safest country in the world, according to the Global Peace Index. So even though we are at the crossroads of Europe, of East and West, we are one of the safest places where you could study, where you could choose to study. The country itself has mild continental climate. That means that we get to experience all four seasons, mild winters, spring, hot summers, not as hot as you guys are used to, with like maximum temperatures of about 35 degrees, and then autumn. We are in autumn right now, so that's why I'm layered a bit. These are turning all colors of orange and brown and yellow, so it's really nice. This is also something that's great to mention, that when you come here to study with us, you will be able to experience a bit of each season, and this is something that I know most of you don't really have, given where you live. So this is a shock in a good way to most of our international students when they first come here. The first winter is the most exciting for them. Now, for the university, for the city of Debrecen, it has more than 650 years of history. It's one of the oldest towns in Hungary. It's the second largest, but it's still considered to be a small town, because the population of Debrecen is about 230,000. So it's really a small town. It's about 230 kilometers east of Budapest, so it's easily accessible by train, car, bus. Debrecen is known to be a college town, a university town, so we are very used to students, both local students and internationals. Everything sort of revolves around the university, because while Debrecen is a considerably small city, the university is the largest in Hungary, and we have the largest international student body in the whole region, this region of Central Europe. So it's kind of an interesting paradox having a small, calm town and such a huge university. But you will see some photos as well of our main square, some of the parks that we have around the city. Hungary in general, but especially Debrecen, is known to be very quiet, calm, surrounded by nature. The main campus of the university itself is located in a forest area, which is under international environmental protection. So you will see that everything is very green, very peaceful, and it's easy to focus on your studies when you have such a nice, relaxing environment to live in. But Debrecen has all of the the amenities that you might need, everything that you might need to enjoy your time when not studying. Debrecen also has an international airport connecting to mostly European destinations, London, Munich, Rome, um, Paris. We have a historic city center where you can take lovely walks. You can see the middle picture there of our town square. We have green city parks. You already saw some photos. Open air and indoor pools. Why? Because Hungary, and especially Debrecen, is known for its thermal water. That's what it's famous for, after the university, of course. Thermal water has many, many healing properties, and that's why we have a lot of tourists all year round coming here to enjoy our thermal water. I'm saying all year round because thermal water is hot, so even, especially actually in the winter when it gets colder, it's lovely to take a plunge and enjoy our thermal water. So we have both open air and indoor pools and spas in town that you can enjoy. We have ice skating rinks, sports fields, both on and off campus, museums, both contemporary and um, more classical. We have actually three theaters if we consider the open air one, which only operates in the summer. We have supermarkets. We have many, many restaurants, cafes, bars around town, multiple cinemas, concert venues, um, malls. Obviously, smaller than what you might be used to in terms of malls, but yeah, we do have shopping malls as well. So basically, anything and everything that you might need to live comfortably, you can find it in Debrecen, even though it's a small town. Now for the University of Debrecen, the predecessor of the university, which was the College of the Protestant Church, was first established in 1538. So that gives us centuries of experience in higher education. This is one of the oldest universities that you will get the chance to join in Europe. We currently have 13 faculties and we operate on 8 different campuses in 4 cities. So now we are not just one campus university. We are a regional higher education institution because we operate in multiple cities in the area. We have about 30,000 students, so that says a lot. That's a large student body. And here it says in the presentation that we have 7,300 international students, but as of yesterday, that's not true anymore because we just got the statistics for this academic year after the registration period ended. And turns out now we have more than 7,000 and almost 600. So yay, we're always growing. They come from all over the world, from more than 130 countries. So this makes us the largest international student community in Central Europe. We have about 1,500 lecturers, and the student lecturer ratio is 20 to 1. You can see some photos of our main campus, the agriculture campus, the life sciences building, where medicine, pharmacy, and dentistry students spend their first 2 years doing their theoretical classes. The main building, obviously, you might be familiar with that. And this photo was taken last spring, and it's not photoshopped. It's not a stock photo. This is what it looks like in spring, actually. Now, I already told you that our predecessor was established in 1538, but when the University of Debrecen start looking like it does now, well, around 1912, the Hungarian Royal University was founded, and that operated roughly the same way as we do now. And then we also had some smaller colleges scattered around town. And thank God, in 2000, they decided to join these smaller colleges, these smaller faculties, to create the unified University of Debrecen as we know it today. And I think that helped us a lot to be more centralized, to be more well governed, I would say. So yeah, for the past more than 2 decades, we've had all these faculties available to all students who apply to the Unified University of Debrecen. As you can see, we have very impressive buildings, both a bit more classical, old buildings, obviously renovated. And then we have very, very modern buildings as well. One of the most recent ones is the Learning Center, which was built as a community space, a community center for students to do their group projects together, to study together, to prepare for their exams together. Then the Sports Sciences building, which is just across the street from the Learning Center. The main building, as you will see, it's almost something like straight out of a movie, straight out of Harry Potter. Then we have student hostels on campus. I have to mention that the number of available rooms is limited, but not to worry because many of our students live in private accommodation close to their campus. Because it's a college town, we have many, many apartments, flats, rooms for rent, and many of our students prefer it that way anyway. So we have many options for private accommodation in case you don't get a room in one of our student hostels. Then we have the life sciences building, which, as I mentioned, mostly for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy students. We have the IT building, which is also a newer one. And obviously, we have self-study spaces. We have labs for students to use, modern lecture halls, restaurants, cafes, snack bars, even a grocery store, multiple ATMs, a post office, and 2 banks operating on campus. So it's really like a city within a city. Now you will see that we have libraries. What I have to mention about that is that our university library, which consists of multiple buildings in multiple places, is a national library. Now, to get the title, to qualify for the title of National Library, you have to have more than 6 million copies of books and other items such as journals, magazines, and we qualify. There are only 2 national libraries in the country. One of them is in Budapest and the other one is here. This is ours. And all students who study at the University of Debrecen have free access to all more than 6 million copies of books to do their research, to do their projects, to do their homework. So this is also something definitely to mention. And another extra is once you are a national library, whatever book is printed in Hungary, we have to be sent a copy, right? So we have to have a copy of every single book that's ever been published in Hungary. So that's also, I think, very great. It's quite awesome. We have simulators. The one you see here is for the professional pilot students, but that's not the only simulator we have. For medicine and dentistry students too, we have a lot of simulators that they can learn to perfect their technique before meeting patients. Obviously, we have very modern facilities for the teaching hospital and the teaching clinic as well. Here, it's worth mentioning that we have the largest healthcare center in Hungary on campus. So behind the main campus, which is still the main campus of the University of Debrecen, is the clinical center of the University of Debrecen, which is the largest healthcare provider, right? We have more than 3 million patient cases every year, and medicine students and dentistry students have free access to go, and they will have their practices there without even commuting because they can just literally walk down the street and there they are at the clinical center. We have state-of-the-art equipment offering multiple great things at the clinical center, such as open heart surgery, kidney transplantation, brain gamma surgery, etc. We have 3D printers. We have, as I mentioned, many simulators, many labs, and all clinical practices are carried out in the teaching hospital or the clinical center right on campus for these students. It's also worth mentioning that we have the fastest processing supercomputer in the country at our IT faculty, which is the Koshei campus. So yeah, if you're interested in IT, I'm sure this will blow your mind. Um, yeah, so I mentioned a lot about our libraries, self-study spaces, community spaces to do group projects together, lecture halls, bigger ones, smaller ones, depending on obviously the class being held, the simulators, the 3D printers, and everything. So obviously you saw that this is indeed an ideal environment to study, but you can also have some fun in Debrecen, right? So we offer more than 60 types of sport to our students. We have the unibike system that you see in one of the photos. This is free of charge for students to use. The first 30 minutes, they can use it free of charge with their student card to get from one building to the other, or from one campus to the other. So I think it comes in very handy when you have classes on different campuses and you have to get there real quick. There are many hangout spots specifically for students, student clubs, many events. We have the Great Forest area, obviously, which is where the main campus is located. You can hang out there, do sports, take walks, get an ice cream. During spring, summer, and autumn, this is ideal to spend your time, and you don't even have to spend money, really. Just enjoy the outdoors. Um, but because we have a very colorful student community, it's easy to make friends and to have someone to hang out with and do these things that I mentioned with. We offer different types of events organized throughout the academic year, such as the International Food Day, other student union events, starting with U Day, which is our semester opening ceremony, with the flag show, which is my favorite part, concerts, plays at the university theater, many, many things that you can do, from sports to drama to music, even cooking together, such as the International Food Day, which is also a great, one of the highlights of the academic year, obviously. And I mentioned that we have a lot of international students. Um, these are the countries where we have the highest number of students from, obviously, but this is not the full list. Basically, any country you could think of, we will have at least one student from there. So it's really cool. You come to a small town in Central Europe thinking, I don't even speak the language. What am I going to do? And then, boom, you enter a very, very large community of internationals. You get to learn about their culture, a bit about their language, about their food, their different traditions, all while not leaving the city. So this is a very unique experience indeed. Now, what can you study at the university? Because obviously, it's great to have friends, but you come here to study. So I will quickly go through all the different programs that you can choose, right? So first off, we have the medical school of the University of Debrecen, which consists of four faculties: the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry, Pharmacy, and Health Sciences. Okay. So we obviously offer medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy. Those are single cycle programs, so you can start after high school or after your foundation year. And after 5 or 6 years, depending on which program we're talking about, you graduate with a doctor's degree, Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of Pharmacy, or Doctor of Dentistry, right? Or you can choose from our various health science programs, such as physiotherapy, nursing, dietetics, public health. And then you can do the same for your master's. We offer molecular biology, social work and social economy, and the aforementioned foundation courses as well. Those I want to briefly mention, those are not compulsory as long as you fulfill the requirements for year one. If for some reason you don't, you can still be offered the foundation course. and gather all the knowledge that you will need to be successful in your chosen program afterwards. How much do these programs cost, you might ask, because your parents will ask, obviously, and it's a very important question. Medicine would be 16,900 USD per year. That covers 2 semesters, and the program itself is 12 semesters long, so 6 years. While dentistry and pharmacy are 10-semester programs, so they are 5 years long. And dentistry costs 17,500 USD per year, also covering 2 semesters, including all the materials you will need to use during your practice, so you will not have to pay extra for those. And then pharmacy is 8,000 USD for the same 5 years. Most of our bachelor level health science programs are 8 semesters long, so 4 years, and they are usually around 6,000, 6,500 USD per year, also covering 2 semesters. The masters are either 3 or 4 semesters, so 1.5 or 2 years long, and they are just a little bit pricier than the bachelors. So this is for the medical and health science programs. And then we also offer, obviously, a long list of non-medical programs. Actually, it's more than 70 programs, so I won't list all of them, but I will list the study fields that they are in. We have 9 faculties offering different international programs for both bachelor and master students in agriculture, business, engineering, humanities, IT, science, law, and even music, actually. The bachelor programs have a September intake. The same goes for the medical and health science programs. And the master level programs, many of them will have a February intake as well. But if you're high school students looking to start your university studies in the next few years, you will have the September intake. So this is the intake that will be of interest to you, the one in September. And the price of these courses, the non-medical ones, ranges between 6,000 to around 9,000 US dollars, depending on which one you're choosing, obviously. We offer a foundation course for non-medical students as well, should they not meet the requirements for year one. You can follow us on social media. We are available on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I definitely recommend TikTok because this is our new favorite. And yeah. And now I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bola, for that very detailed presentation. So let's move on to the Q&A session now. Once again, students, you can type in your questions in the Q&A box, and this can be done by clicking on the button at the center bottom of your screen. I can already see a couple of questions pouring in, and we're also going to be avoiding all repetitive questions, right, to be productive. So the first question is by Itar. Itar is asking, is there any scholarship?
Yes, for certain agriculture and natural science programs, so like agricultural engineering, physics, maths, geoinformatics, that sort of thing, we do have our own scholarship called UD International Scholarship, which is essentially a tuition fee reduction for anywhere between 30 to up to 90% off. It's an academic scholarship, so it's based on your performance. In the first year, it's your entrance exam results that basically decide which bracket you are put into. And then from the second year on, it's based on the previous year's grades. Once again, it's only for agriculture and natural science programs. And then we are also obviously part of the Stipendium Hungaricum Scholarship Program, which is a whole nother presentation, I think, because it's a lot more complicated than applying as a self-finance student. But if you want to know more about it, I can put a link in the chat box later on, or you can ask Zara, and they can explain a bit about the scholarship. Basically, the catch in the scholarship, the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, is that your home country, where you have your passport from, has to nominate you for the scholarship, and that's the trickiest part to get the nomination, because you have no chance of winning the scholarship if you're not nominated by your home country. So you should look into that first, see how you can get a chance to be nominated. And after that, it's basically a scholarship application portal where you upload, it's a platform where you upload your documents, do the entrance exam with your university, us, and then see whether you got chosen. So it's a bit of a longer process, but yeah, we do have that option as well. The list of programs available within the scholarship will depend on where you come from, because every country who participates in the scholarship has a different list of programs available to them. So you should also check that. I'm assuming
Okay, I
that.
just want to, sorry, uh, if you're through, I just want to add something. Okay. Okay, so scholarship is being offered by the government of Hungary,
Yeah.
not the university itself. And every year they announce the scholarship. Normally they announce a scholarship in the month of this October or November. So
November 15th.
November. So November 15 they will announce. Once you go to the scholarship, every year they choose the country and the courses. Let's suppose if you are from India or if you are from the Jordan, you have to check whether your country name is there or no. If your country name is not there, that means you are not eligible. If the country name is there, let's suppose you are from Jordan and your country name is there, then you have to check the courses whether if you are going for medicine is there or not. If you are going for engineering is there or not. If not, then you cannot apply. If yes, then you have to apply to a scholarship through your own country. I know you all live in Dubai or outside, but they give the scholarship based on the passport. So if you are living in UAE or in Saudi or in Oman or in Qatar, but if you are an Indian national, you have to check with the Indian government. So they do have a partner in their home country. Normally, is the ministry who will offer the scholarship. Then you have to check their requirement, and based on the requirement, you have to fulfill that requirement. It's a long process, but yes, some of the students get scholarship every year. So you may try for this also. Thank you. Next.
Also, mind you, this is also an academic scholarship. So it's not a financial aid. Your financial status is not what is going to decide whether you can get the scholarship or not. It's purely based on your academic merit and your country nomination. Okay.
Moving on to
Go to the next question, because I think the scholarship in and of itself is like a multiple hour discussion, which I'm happy to do another time. But maybe it makes more sense if we go through as many
Yes.
questions as we can now.
Okay, next question is by Sanjay. How many international students are accepted for the medicine program?
Around 300, 280, 300.
Okay.
But these seats fill up. So you will see once you apply, you pass the exam, etc. You also have a limited amount of time to pay seat reservation fee. This is what we call it, because the program is so popular that if you don't reserve your seat, it will be given to someone else. So yeah, we have about 280, 300 places each year for international students to join medicine.
All right. Sanjay is asking, how is the medicine course compared to any other Hungarian university for international students, for example, Similis?
Rated how is my question. Basically, as you may know, Hungary has four medical universities, one in the capital, which is Semmelweis, and that's why it's probably the most famous one, because it's in Budapest. And then the three others are in three smaller cities. All three they offer basically roughly the same curriculum, and Semmelweis as well, the same good quality of education. So there's not that much of a difference between these universities education-wise. Yeah, we have the highest number of international students, as I mentioned that, which I like to think it accounts to the extra things also besides education. But education-wise, I think all three they are, dare I say, equals. They offer great quality of education in medicine, accepted worldwide, very powerful degree, obviously. And I would also like to add that we do sometimes reach out to former students as well, to see where they are, what they do with their degree. And I'm happy to say that they find jobs quite easily. We just met up with a former dentistry student a couple weeks ago, and he works in the UK now. So, but this is just one of the many students that we have. So that's just an example. So I don't know which ranking you're talking about or how you would like to compare these universities, but I would say that they all offer roughly the same type of high quality education in medicine. So
Okay, I just want to add this one that all the four universities are good, except this one that the number of international students is double in Debrecen as compared to any other university. And Debrecen has been taking students from this market for the last more than 2 decades now. So they know how to handle international students. They know the requirement. That's why that's why that's a favorite place now. Otherwise, all the other universities are the same now, are of good quality now. Thank you.
Okay. Next question is by Hiba. Are Palestinian students accepted?
yes, of course.
Next question by Amber. Do you offer bachelor's in forensic science?
No, we do not.
Okay. And Pawan wants to know about the bachelor in business. Could you
Yeah.
share the tuition fees and your prospect?
Um, so we have business administration and management, and we also have commerce and marketing, and they are roughly 7,000 per year, 6,500, I think. So that covers 2 semesters. Plus
Mhm.
the, of course, the application and entrance procedure fee. For both programs, there's an entrance exam in mathematics, and there's an interview where we check the level of English of the student as well.
Maksud wants to know for the twins, is there any concession?
What do you mean? Um,
I think he
Sibling
wants to know.
discount.
Yeah, sibling discount.
Um, no, this we do have a sibling discount, but it starts with 3 students, 3 siblings who do their studies at the university at the same time. So then all 3 get a tuition fee reduction. But for twins, I don't think that's a possibility, unfortunately, for only
All
2 of
right.
them. If you're triplets,
Okay.
go ahead.
Next question is by Fawzia. Fawzia wants to know the visa process for it's actually non-EU students. She has another question she entered later. Sorry, that was meant to say visa for non-EU students. So can we talk about the visa process for international students?
Yeah, so basically it also depends on what your home country is. But you get once you apply to the university, right, you take your entrance exam, you get your results, your letter of acceptance. In the letter of acceptance is stated that you have, for medicine, as I mentioned, it's a seat reservation fee. For all other programs, it's your full fee that you have to pay within a certain amount of time. Once you have done that, once you have transferred your first year's tuition fee to the university's account, we will automatically send a visa support letter in addition to your letter of acceptance. And with these documents, it's rather easy to apply for a visa because it helps a lot justifying your application, and also stating that you would be coming here to study and you would be studying at the university and that you have the financial means to study because you already paid your first year's tuition fee. Obviously, the embassy will have forms to fill out. We'll have questions. Most often, they will also have an interview with the student. Once the student gets their visa to come to Hungary, they get a D-type visa with which they can travel to Hungary. It's a student visa. And after registration, so after coming to the university in person and registering in person, starting their first year, they will get a residence permit. This residence permit basically allows them the same rights as EU citizens in terms of traveling around Europe, etc., going home and coming back again, so they don't have to apply for a visa each time. They can just use their residence permit, right? This residence permit, however, expires after graduation from your chosen program, obviously. And then after that, you have up to 9 months to stay in Hungary with a job-seeking visa. So this is how it works in a nutshell.
All right. Next question is by Haris. Which is the earliest intake for MSc and IT?
Um, for some of the IT programs, there's February intake as well, but there's always one in September.
All
So
right.
for master's programs, it depends. Some of them will have a February intake, but they all have a September intake.
Okay. Umar wants to know, is there any halal food that is widely available?
Yeah, sure. I mentioned the number of international students that we have. So obviously we do have options for halal food, and we also have smaller shops around town, specifically for halal food and like Oriental spices, that sort of thing. Actually set up by former international students who stayed in Debrecen because they saw that there's a market for it. So yeah, it's easy to find food that you would be happy to eat in Debrecen.
Okay. We have a lot of questions asking about the requirements, the subject requirements for different curriculums. So if we can just
For
answer
which
all of them,
program?
we'll skip those. Um, a couple of them have been asking for medicine, so let's begin with that.
Okay, so you need at least two A levels, preferably biology, chemistry, or physics, because the entrance exam will be biology, which is compulsory, and then either physics or chemistry, you choose which one. The same goes for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy as well. And you will have a written exam, which is a multiple choice question with short answer questions, and then an entrance interview as well. For those of you who live in the UAE, the entrance exam is always on site in Dubai, actually, for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy.
Yes, and the details regarding this entrance examination, of course, you can contact us. While we're answering other questions, I will drop in the contact details, our contact details in the chat box, so you can check that. We've got a couple questions about the dorms and the charges for that, so maybe we can address that.
Sure. So I mentioned that we have a limited amount of dorm rooms available on campus by the sheer number of students that we have, obviously. Um, those would cost around 300 to 400 USD per month. And then private accommodation, if you live in a flat share, it would also be around 400 to 500 USD per month with utilities. If you want to have your own apartment, obviously that will be a little more costly. So we usually say that you would need around, I don't know, 700 minimum USD per month to live as a student in Debrecen with the cost of accommodation, food, groceries, transportation, the basics. Yeah.
All right. Next question by Sarah. Is there any psychology course?
Yes, we do have a BA in psychology, a BA course. It's a 3-year program and it has a September intake, just like the rest of the bachelors that we have. It helps if you did biology during high school, but the entrance exam will be based on a textbook that you are sent before the exam, and it will be a discussion based on this psychology textbook and your understanding of the text and such, as well as your high school grades. Obviously, those count.
All right.
Okay.
Mohammed Hayat wants to know USMLE, how many USMLE steps will be covered or completed in the MD program duration?
So it's not part of the Hungarian curriculum, as you might know, the USMLE prep, but because we have so many international students, many of them who wish to work in the States after graduation, and because our degree is valid in the States, we offer a USMLE Step 1 prep course, which is live online to students. And based on your GPA, you get a very generous reduction from the course fee. So basically, top students will be able to do it practically free of charge. And it's a Kaplan course. As I mentioned, it's live online. So if you are considering doing the USMLE, working in the States after graduation, you have the chance to do your prep with the help of the University of Debrecen. And we will also offer a mock exam for the step one. And we won't allow you to take the actual exam until you pass your mock exam. So you have all the tools that you might need to do your step one during your studies. Actually, we advise students to start the course, the USMLE prep course that we offer during or after their year 3. Definitely not anytime before that, because they just don't have that sort of knowledge beforehand. But year 4 or 5, sure, they can do it.
All right. Question by Aiden. I think this is a addition to the current discussion. She wanted to ask about PLAB or the UKMLE after the program.
As I said, we have the USMLE prep option. We don't have the PLAB because students who have our degree have not, they didn't have to do it. So it would have been useless to have that course because students with the degree from us can go and work in the UK without the licensing exam.
Okay. I
As
just
of
want
now.
to add this one. I just want to add this one that that the degree of the University of Debrecen, if you get a degree from this one, you don't need to take PLAB in UK. But that is going to change. PLAB is going to replace with UKMLE, where I mean everybody has to take the exam, even if you are studying in UK also. But as of now, the degree is so strong that UK GMC exempt the graduate of University of Debrecen to take any kind of examination.
Exactly.
All right. Next question by Ria. Does the 16,500 per year include textbooks and other materials for the medicine program?
No, it's except for the dentistry program, for which the tuition fee includes the materials for the practice. All of the programs and the tuition fees for these programs only cover the tuition fee and the medical insurance of the student. So the medical insurance for the duration of your studies is covered with the tuition fee, but nothing else is. As I mentioned, many of the textbooks and the books that you will need for your studies will be found at our libraries, but we do not include other textbooks within this price.
All right. Johan wants to know, is IELTS required for the medicine program?
Not necessarily. You can use another type of language certificate, or if you come from a school where the language of instruction is English, then obviously we won't need any type of exam, because we know that you speak English.
Okay, I just want
For
to
the
add this one
scholarship,
that
though, you will have to have some sort of language certificate.
okay, just to make clear for all kind of curriculum, whether you are from British, American, or if anything, uh, we don't need any kind of examination like TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, MSAT, or APs, or we don't need any kind of recommendation letter, personal statement, nothing. Everything will be tested during the entrance examination. So please, if you have a question, if you are from American curriculum, British curriculum, IB, whatever, we don't need any kind of examination. Everything will be tested during the entrance examination. Okay.
All right. I've got a couple questions about for medical students, what happens to them after graduation? Can they work in Hungary or other European countries?
Yes, technically they can automatically in all countries of the EU because it's an EU degree that they get, and many other countries of the world as well. Mind you, in some of these countries, especially where English is not an official language just like Hungary, it would be hard to work as a doctor without Hungarian knowledge. So now, some of our students learn to speak Hungarian quite fluently, so they can start their residency, their specialist training program after graduation and do it in Hungarian, dealing with Hungarian patients. But those who don't want to spend years learning the language without being sure they want to stay after graduation, they have other options of going to other countries and working elsewhere. Either within or outside of the EU. The degree will be accepted, but because each of these countries would have their own official language, if you don't speak the language, it might be a bit harder to land a job because you won't be able to start a specialist training program without knowledge of that country's first language or official language. What many of our students do is they decide to will have some Hungarian knowledge, obviously, because it's in the curriculum, but they will instead pick another language, just like German or Spanish or French or something that they deem more useful. And then they learn that language to level um, so that after graduation they can move to Germany, for example, and start their residency there with the German knowledge that they gathered. So we offer language courses too. It's not an issue really. So yeah, technically the degree is valid. It's sometimes the language barrier that you have to think of beforehand because you will have to deal with the patients of that country in the language that they speak. And in Hungarian, it's in Hungary, it's Hungarian. In Germany, it's German. So yeah, that's the short answer to this question.
Okay. Question by Faisal and a couple others as well. For the medicine program, how does the entrance exam look like? Will there be any support for preparing? And what about the interview?
Yes, I mentioned a couple minutes ago, the entrance exam consists of a written test, which is mostly multiple choice questions and then some short answer questions. There's a topic list, sample test, and the textbook recommendation available on our website that you can download to prepare beforehand. And then for the interview, so for the oral part, it's an interview with field-related questions, questions that were on the topic list as well, and sometimes some more personal questions about yourself as well, depending on the professor or how much they want to know about you as a person. But yeah, they will definitely ask the field-related questions as well. And what else did I want to say? Yeah, and we have a tutoring seminar as well. So if you feel like you won't be able to prepare for the entrance exam individually by yourself, then we offer live online tutoring seminars as well that you can join and prepare for the entrance exam. Mind you, completing the course does not automatically mean that you will pass the entrance exam. You have to put in the work yourself, but we offer these tutoring sessions for students who think they might need it, right? So yeah. And once again, the subjects are biology, which is compulsory, and either chemistry or physics. No maths needed. So a lot of people ask because I know that certain universities, even for medicine, they require maths as an entrance exam or as something brought from high school. We don't. It's biology and either chemistry or physics.
All right. Next question is by Sarah. How soon should the requirements be completed for a senior student, high school student finishing in 2024, 2025?
So
Okay, let
basically,
me answer this question. Like, you see uh, the application has already started. We have started taking applications since last June. So there will be an entrance examination. One is on February 1st. Other one will be on April 12th. You have to choose the dates, and once you take the entrance examination, then all the things will be finalized. Then you will receive the visa letter. You have to apply for the visa. So basically, for the next year, the admission process already started. So please contact our office to to process your application.
But if you meant like by what date the requirements have to be fulfilled, as in high school diploma, for example, which you won't get before taking your entrance exam, if that what your question is about, it's fine. We don't need your final diploma for your entrance exam, right? Because it's mostly your entrance exam that will decide whether you get admission or not. So you can send in your final diploma afterwards as well. Anytime before August of that year is basically fine, or you can come to registration, the in-person registration, and show your documents, right? We won't need your final document when you're applying because that's not what decides your admission status. It's the entrance exam, and you can take the entrance exam before graduating from high school.
Yes, I think we have to go. I mean, very fast because I can see there are about 100+ questions. No, so
Okay.
Zara, can you speed up this?
Yeah. Next question is by Simar. Is there a Sikh association in the university?
Oh, interesting question. I don't know personally, but we have something called the International Student Union, ISU, which is a huge organization within the university, as the name suggests, for international students. And they do have like subgroups as well, based on where they come from or what they study. So I'm guessing there would be. You would have to reach out to ISU, I think. But yeah, I'm guessing most probably. Yeah.
All right. Umar is asking, does the university have any Hungarian language courses?
For medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy, it's included in the curriculum, yes, because they would have to do their practices with patients who are Hungarian. So they have to have a basic level of medical Hungarian to deal with these patients, right? So that's included in the curriculum. They don't have to have an extra class for that. All other students, except for the scholarship students, are not required to have any Hungarian. They can if they want to as electives, right? And the scholarship students, for them, they have extra Hungarian classes because that's a requirement for the scholarship to learn some Hungarian, which makes sense, I think. I got a scholarship once to France and I had to learn French as well and like French culture. So I guess it's the same with this one as well.
All right. We've got one or two questions about the applications for mature students who have a study gap of more than 10 years. Do we take applications for that?
That's a tricky question because it depends on each individual case and why they have the study gap, right? If it's justified, if they worked in the field, if the study gap is between their bachelor's and their master's, or the study gap happened right after high school and they don't even have a bachelor's degree. So it depends on many things. And it's mostly up for individual assessment of the situation of that student. So it's not a yes or no question, really. For medicine, it's tougher. For some of the non-medical programs, it depends.
Well, I just would like to add in that for the mature student again, I mean, for some countries it's not a problem because you have to apply for the visa also, and if you are from the countries, I mean, underdeveloped countries, I think you won't get a visa. It will be a problem because a visa officer might not issue the visa. But let's suppose if you are a UAE national, I mean American national or this one, then it should not be a problem. But in terms of visa, those underdeveloped countries, 99% chances are that you won't get the visa. Like if you come to us and say that you have a gap of 10 years, we will not take your application because we know that at the end you won't get the visa, and then you will be very much disappointed. No, so most probably it will be a problem for the visa also. Yes, next please.
All right. We've got many questions about transfer students as well. So you, if you know, enlighten a bit on that as well.
In theory, We do accept transfer students, but actually we still accept them, but they would have to qualify, right? And based on the documents that they send in, they have to fill out a form, a credit transfer request form, with their former curriculum and our curriculum. They usually do not qualify for the year that's coming next for them from their former university. So if you just finished, I don't know, year 3, you won't transfer to year 4 at UD. You most likely will be able to start from like year 2, right? But just based on the fact that it's a completely different curriculum and based on the grades you have from there and the courses you have from there and our curriculum, I think I can say it never happens that you can just continue from the next year that you were supposed to go to, right? But we do offer transfer students. It's just that you might have to repeat some of your courses, or so it will take longer in the end for you to finish the degree. But it's all up for individual assessment once again. So based on the documents that you provide, there's a committee of professors at the university who will look at it, assess your situation, and then they will decide which year you qualify for. It's always an individual decision.
All right, we've got a question from Rania about the requirements for the professional pilot program, and is the program accredited internationally?
Yes, this program is basically an engineering bachelor's program combined with professional training, professional pilot training. So it combines the two. In the end, you will get a bachelor's in engineering as well, with your classes that you took. And the requirements, that was one part of the question, right? As for the requirements, you will take an entrance exam in maths and physics because it's going to be an engineering course, right? So maths and physics. For that too, the topic list as well as the sample tests are available on our website, and you can download those so you can have a look through to see what we expect you to know for the exam. And there would be an interview as well. And there's also a medical certificate that you need to have. You can read more about that on the website too, because it's a specific type of medical document that you need to upload stating that you're fit to start your flight course. And you cannot have worse grades than Bs for maths and physics in high school. So it's the requirements for the professional pilot course are a bit more strict than some other engineering courses, which is understandable because you would be flying a plane. But yeah.
Okay. We've got a lot of questions about the A-level subject requirements. So maybe if we can address that.
For medicine?
Yeah, for the medicine course.
Okay, you need at least 2. Preferably in biology or chemistry or physics. That's it. Because those will be your entrance exam subjects as well, and we want you to be prepared for that.
All right. Question by Madan. How many retakes are allowed if a student fails in any subject in medicine, and is he promoted to next year, or he has to pass that subject first?
I understand the first half of the question. It's 3. So within the same semester, you can try for the same exam, same subject, up to 3 times. However, it's up to your time management skills whether you can sign up for 3, because the professor doesn't have to provide multiple any more than 3 occasions. So if you don't take the first one that they offer, you take the second, then you will obviously not have three maximum to try. So yeah, that's a bit of time management issue. But yeah, legally you have up to three, right? If you don't pass it for the third time within that semester, you'll have to retake that class.
Uh, I just want to add on this one that it depends on the subject. If it's a major subject like I mean anatomy, histology, then it's a different thing. If it's a
No,
minor subject, it's
no. It's always maximum three per semester. You can try a maximum of three times each semester for the same subject. If you fail that, you have to sign up for it the next semester or the next year, depending on when they announce that class again. You don't have more than three times to try for the same exam.
yes, that's what I said. But again, it depends on subject to subject, no, because some of the subjects are not major, so they have different requirement, and some of them are major subjects, no. So that's why I mean it depends on case to case basis. It's not like like a simply the same case everywhere, no.
But it
And
is. It's always three up to three. It doesn't matter what kind of subject. Basically, you still, even if it's a big subject or an elective, you can try for it a maximum of three times per semester, per exam
yes,
period.
Okay. So I can see we've answered over 105 questions now because a lot of them have been repetitive as well. Let's take two more questions. The first one being by Jana. What is the world ranking of University of Debrecen?
Oh, which one? I'm gonna have to share my screen again. I think if I find that, just a second. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna share my screen again so you can read all that. Can you see it now? The
Yes, it's
rankings,
visible.
because there are all different kinds of rankings, and I don't know which one you mean. So there's the QS, there's the World University rankings, um, graduate employability ranking, Times Higher Education ranking. Um,
okay, I think we have to go forward because still there are about hundreds of questions to be answered now.
okay.
Zara, can you do it very quickly,
Mm.
please?
Yes, okay. Lionel is asking, physiotherapy is usually a licensed program in other countries to practice. So after graduating in Hungary, do they have to apply for separately in Hungary or will it be part of the last semester?
The practice is included. They already have the practice upon graduation. It's requirement in order to graduate.
Okay. Rida is asking, is there any extracurricular activities in the university, for example, with sports?
Yeah, I mentioned that in my presentation. There are more than 60 different sports that we offer at the university. Most of them are free of charge. Some of them you can do with a very generous student discount. But yeah, all sorts of sports are available, drama, music, multiple events, student unions, different student clubs, talent programs, all sorts of things.
All right. Mr. Shfaq wants to know what is the dropout rate for international medical students? Does the university help for students who find it difficult to cope with the medical courses?
I don't know the exact number, so that's the first part of the question. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact ratio. Second part of the question, we make sure that they do not start year one without the proper knowledge that they will need to succeed. That's what we try to do when we tell the student that they would need to do a foundation in certain cases, because we want to make sure that the student will be successful starting their year one and not fail. That's why we have the entrance exam. That's why we have the tutoring seminar. That's why we have the offered foundation year for certain students, because we don't want them to start and then fail and then drop out, because there could have been another, because I said it's a very popular program, so seats are limited. There could have been another student for the person who just dropped out, right? So we don't want that. So we try to provide the assistance in advance before that happens, right? Obviously, in case that happens, that somebody sees in their first semester that they are struggling to keep up, they can join a tutoring club at university. Many upper year students will offer tutoring as well. There's a news board in the main building with many ads hung up. So to reach out to an upper year student. Yeah, most of the professors, they provide, actually all of the professors, they provide the material needed to make sure that the student is prepared for the entrance exam or the sorry, the exam period. So we try to avoid having students drop out in the first place.
Okay.
But it is
Rida
a
is
very,
saying,
very difficult competitive program, so you have to be mentally prepared for it.
right. Next question by Rida. She may have missed the point, but does the University of Debrecen provide placements or internships during the academic year?
Which program? Once again, I'm asking. If it's about medicine, yes, the practice is included and the internship is included. You cannot graduate without it.
Okay. Question by
The
Dua.
foundation
Is
year
the
is not necessarily as long as you fulfill all of the requirements for year one, that being high school diploma, entrance exam passed, all documents provided, age appropriate to start the first year. If all of that language, obviously, if all of that is okay, if you've done all of that, you can start with year one. So foundation is not compulsory for those who fulfill the requirements for year one, right?
all
The
right?
first year's fees are paid in full. It's because of the visa. So we can issue the visa support letter stating that you have the financial means to support your studies. And then after the second year, you can pay per semester.
Okay.
It's an MD program.
All right. Next question is
Okay,
by
let me
Sharma.
clarify this one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's an MD program, but please do not mix with this Indian MD or the other MD, because Indian MD means that you are a specialist. This is a master program, but still you will become a
Yeah.
GP. You will not be specialist. But if you want to go for PhD after this MD, you can go directly. While if you do this MBBS, you have to do your master's and then go for PhD. So please don't get confused with this one.
All right. Question by Madan. How much command of the Hungarian language is important to get the medicine degree, and exams are oral or written?
To get the degree, exactly as much as you will be taught for your for your during your Hungarian course. So you won't be asked more than what's already included in the curriculum. What was the second part of the question? I I don't see the question anymore, so I don't know what the second question was. The second part was, but
Okay. There's a lot of questions that we're having, so it's definitely
okay.
somewhere in the middle. If we've missed it, just tap it again. We'll answer it, no problem.
Okay.
Next question is by Rida. Has there been any instant where a student had to pay a year's fee to reserve the seat, and then after they received the stipend Hungarian? If
The seat
yes, what will the
reservation
process
fee
be?
is not a full year's fee. It's a seat reservation fee. It's reduced. It's not a full year's fee. That's the first thing. And then before actually getting the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, I think in that case, the seat reservation fee will be transferred back to the student. They will have
Yes,
to
yes,
fill out
that will be
a form
refunded.
for that.
Yes, yes, yeah, that will be refunded. No, because if you get a scholarship after paying this feasible fee, that's part of the
Yeah.
scholarship program. So that will be adjusted. No, not an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question by Reena. Do we need to receive an
No,
acceptance from the
no,
university before
no.
applying?
What you have to do simultaneously is apply for the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship. And with that, you also apply to the university, right? Because it happens on the same platform. And also, while doing that, you reach out to the sending partner of your home country where you have your passport from. These are the two things that you have to do at the same time, right? You don't have to reach out to the university because we already see your application. And in case your country nominates you and all of your documents are correct and your application is correct, then we will automatically reach out to you just based on that. You don't need to send anything to the university
All
directly.
right. Question by Jana. Is it easy to get the Hungarian passport?
Not very, no.
All right. Question by Amin. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Amin Yahya Abu Bakr from Nigeria. Question is that I read accounting in BSc and MSc, graduated with 3.6 out of 5, 3.0 out of 4. Do you offer PhD programs and how can one apply?
Yes, we do have PhD, not in accounting, but in business. So you would have to see what kind of research topics they offer at that faculty for PhD. And if there's something that's your expertise, then yes, you can apply. You can reach out to the supervisor there who offered that research topic and discuss whether you would be a good fit for it and whether this would be a good fit for you, and then you can apply. PhD applications are a bit different because it involves the supervisor as well,
All
who
right.
leads the research.
Matthew is asking, are AP exams accepted instead of A levels?
Okay, can I
Sure.
answer this?
Yeah.
Is because
Yeah,
I
go
can see a
ahead.
lot of questions about the syllabus. As I mentioned very clearly, we don't need AP, SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, recommendation letter. So if you are from the American system, all you have to do is to pass the entrance examination and pass your high school. If you are from the British system, you have to have at least two A levels. If you are from this IB, you have to pass your IB only. We don't require any kind of specific points like we need 35 point 36 points. So once you pass the entrance examination, that means 99.9% you are in, because the other requirement is to pass your high school only. So it's not like a conditional admission that you have been accepted subject to condition that you get at least 90%, 85%, or 38 points, or two A's in your A level, or these APs. No. So this why I mean it is very clear that we just need only high school certificate. High school can be A levels, two A levels. High school can be American high school diploma without APs, without SET. High school can be IB curriculum. If you pass this one, the most important thing is to pass the entrance examination. So am I clear for this entrance examination requirement? That's all, because I can see that these are coming again and again the same question. Okay, go ahead, please.
All right. Our mama is asking, please share the estimated deadlines for the entrance exam and the applications.
The first
Again,
entrance exam will be the 1st of February, as Dr. Kadri already mentioned beforehand. And the second one will be in April, right, Dr. Kadri?
April,
So you have until
yes,
then to
April 12th.
apply.
April 12th, and the application already started since last June. So I mean, if you want to apply, you can apply as soon as possible to get registered for the entrance examination.
Okay. Fozia is asking the population of the city, are they fluent in English or would one need to learn the local language?
The official language of the country is Hungarian. However, many people also speak English to a certain level, and everybody on campus would speak English as well, given the high number of international students that we have. So you don't necessarily need to learn the language, but if you learn a few expressions in Hungarian, especially for the older generation, or going to different shops and restaurants and stuff, that goes a long way, just to be polite, just to show that you're happy to be here. But no, otherwise, you can do everything in English. It's not really an issue.
All right. Lynan is asking, do students do part-time jobs while studying and are they allowed to do so?
They are allowed. Legally, they can work up to 30 hours per week. So that's pretty generous for a student job. But I have to mention here that medical students will not have the time to do that because it's, as I mentioned, a very competitive program. You have to study a lot for it. Other students in other programs, they might have a chance to work. I don't think 30 hours is realistic, even though it's legally okay. I think about 15 to 20 hours max if you work on the weekends, that sort of thing. And most of our students, international students who work, they do either call center jobs with international companies who have offices in Debrecen, or food delivery or babysitting, that sort of thing. And also they can find jobs within their field sometimes, but those are mostly internships. And it depends on the company whether the internships will be paid or not. So, yeah, normal student jobs are what are available usually.
Okay. Soline is asking, what if they want to start the intake in February after graduating high school?
You cannot because there's no intake in February. The only thing you could do is maybe start a foundation course, but the bachelor programs or the single cycle programs such as medicine or dentistry, those are not available in February, only in September.
Okay. Question by Nishi. Do you have any dual degrees like BBA with MBA?
No, we have the single cycle programs that I mentioned, but
All right.
that's a
Leander
difference.
wants to know. Leander wants to know what is the International Foundation course, and after that course, what field can the student join the degree?
The International Foundation is for agriculture, IT, business, and engineering students who, as I said, don't meet the requirements for year one of their chosen study program. So based on what they wanted to do, for example, an engineering course, and they didn't pass the entrance exam, or they just don't have the knowledge that they need. For year one, they can do the International Foundation year, and then they will have classes focusing on the main subjects in that field. So for engineering, it would be maths and physics, or some students, they need some extra English as well, so they would have English classes. So depending on their chosen future program, they will have a foundation program curriculum. So it's the same as for medicine, but for medicine it's biology, chemistry, physics. For non-medical programs, for engineering, it's maths and physics. Sometimes there's some biology in there, if like it's biochemical engineering. So it depends on their chosen study program.
All right. Wazia wants to know, do majority of international students graduating from a bachelor in medicine stay in Hungary or go abroad
It's not a
for
bachelor's in medicine. They get a master's in medicine. It's an MD program. The majority will not be staying in Hungary because, as I mentioned, for the specialist training programs or their residency, they would need to speak a level of Hungarian where they are comfortable working alone as a doctor in Hungarian, which is just not feasible for most of them who don't have some other type of motivation to do that during the 6 years that they are here to study more Hungarian. So a very small percentage of them actually stay in Hungary for their residency, but because the degree is worldwide accepted, it's not an issue. They can do their residency wherever they want. They can do it in Hungary, but they will have to prepare to learn some extra Hungarian then.
All right. Sakhir wants to know if we can talk about the physiotherapy degree in Debrecen, such as the number of international students, job opportunities, requirements, etc.
As for the job opportunities, the same goes for physiotherapy as for medicine that I just mentioned. You would need to speak some Hungarian for that because your patients who you work with in physiotherapy would be Hungarian, who are not required to speak English. You would have to make sure that you understand them in Hungarian, right? It's a very practice-based program. I don't know the exact number of international students, but I think it's about 100 at this point. Actually, we have a new video of the well, not just the physiotherapy program, but the health sciences programs, which is available on YouTube, where students describe their talk about their experience as health science students, including physiotherapy, and you can like take a look around their campus as well. So you might want to check that out. You just type in University of Debrecen, go to our account, and you will see that video for the health sciences programs on YouTube. Yeah, I talked about the job opportunities. The opportunities are there, but you need to speak Hungarian. Requirements. basically a high school diploma, and there's an entrance interview as well.
Anthony is asking what would be the additional cost for textbooks and miscellaneous cost per year for medicine students?
It depends on how much you would just rely on library books, or whether you want to have everything for yourself, like your own copy. So I don't know the exact number, but medical textbooks can be quite expensive. So I don't want to lie to you, honestly. I'm not sure, but in the first years, especially when it's very theory based, before the practice period, which is the next 3 years, I think $300 per year for books. Yeah, if you want to have everything, if you want to have your own copy of everything instead of just going to the library, it's your decision. Yeah.
Okay. Rida wants to know, for the university, do they provide placement internship during academic year for the
Yeah,
business
for the
course?
business program, there's an included internship of, I think, 6 weeks that you have to complete before graduation. So it's a requirement in order to graduate. It's included.
All right. Priya wants to know what are the engineering courses offered? Is it on the main campus?
No, we have our engineering campus. It's about 15 minutes by bus from the main campus, and the list is humongous. So civil engineering, biochemical, chemical, electrical, mechanical, mechatronics, professional pilot, um, vehicle engineering. Am I missing something? I don't know. It's a long list. Please specify what
Mechatronic,
you're interested in.
mechatronic engineering also,
Yes.
and the latest one is the vehicle engineering, where we have got this BMW, the latest plant in Debrecen. So you have a very good opportunities to work with BMW also. No, yeah.
All right. Yamin is asking, is there a way for us to connect with the seniors and alumni studying medicine in the university?
Great question. We have a student ambassador program. If you go on our website, go to the section for prospective students, you will see student ambassadors. You can click on that and you will see their little profiles. Some of them are medicine students, and we actually just enrolled 2 new student ambassadors who study medicine. Some of them are in pharmacy, some of them are in engineering. So you will see they come from all over the place doing different study programs, and you can message them on this platform. So you can ask them anything. Unfortunately, those who are not student ambassadors, we cannot share the contact details of our students. It's GDPR regulation in Europe, so we cannot do that. But you can definitely reach out to the student ambassadors, because it's their role to talk to prospective students and to answer their questions. Sure.
Okay. Two questions for biotechnology. Is biotechnology available? If yes, then what are the requirements and is there internships?
Yes, there's a biotechnology program. It would be biology and I think mathematics for this one. There would be an entrance exam, as I said, both written and oral. And for this, the entrance exam would be online.
All right.
It's a
Someone
bank
wants to
transfer
know.
for tuition
Okay.
fees. You have to transfer the fee to the university's bank account and provide a bank receipt. And then once we have that, the amount arrives to the university's bank account, then we will proceed with the next steps automatically, as I mentioned. Yes. There's no other way,
Okay.
unfortunately, as of now. There's no way of paying through PayPal or anything like that. It has to be an official bank transfer.
Madan is asking, are the exams oral or written for medicine program?
I think we mentioned this multiple times now, so
Okay. Nishi is asking, is the entrance exam tough?
well, it depends. You have to prepare for that in advance. You just make sure you go through the list of topics that we have. Make sure you do the sample tests. Maybe enroll in the tutoring seminar.
All right. Safa wants to know, are there any sororities on campus?
No, not sororities per se. As I mentioned, we have the ISU, which has subdivisions. for based on study program and like where they come from. But it's ISU. It's all about ISU at the University of Debrecen, the International Student Union. They are the ones who organize all of the events and everything, expos, concerts, activities, freshman week, like orientation week, all that. It's ISU.
All right. Lynan is asking, between semesters, do students have to leave the campus or country, or can they stay back during the break period?
Once again, please.
Between the semesters, do the students have to, can they stay back, or do they have to leave the country for the breaks?
They can stay the dorms though. They cannot stay in the dorms for the summer. During the winter break and stuff, they can. For the summer, they won't be able to. But if they have their own private accommodation, yeah, sure, they can stay. Visa-wise, it doesn't matter. They have a residence permit, so they can stay. They don't have to leave the country. And they can come and go as many times as they want with the residence permit. Yes? Any more questions?
Yes, Zara. Okay. Okay, there is one more question that a Bachelor
Oh,
of
sorry.
Arts in Political. What was, yeah.
Yeah. All right, sorry. So, as I was telling, let's take the last two questions now. Question by Rafael. They have a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, looking for MA in the four areas. Do you have them, and what is the cost?
We don't have these programs that you're
Okay.
looking for in MA. No, I'm sorry.
Let's take the last question by Lionel. What is the entrance exam fees in Dubai?
So there's an entrance exam fee and an application fee, and altogether is 500 USD, 350 and
1,000.
150.
Yes, it's AED 1,950. So it is 1,950 dirham, which is equivalent to $500.
All right.
Okay.
With that being said, I'm also going to be dropping in the contact number and the email ID as mentioned before. So if you're interested for the entrance exam or any other question of yours that was missed during the Q&A session, because we tried to be as productive as possible, you can always contact us. And I think this is where we can wrap up the session. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Ms. Dora, for taking time and joining us
Yeah.
as well.
No trouble, and hope to see everybody on campus.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Dora, for joining us, and hope to see some of you soon.